Hello guys, welcome to another grand interesting video, and in this tutorial we are going to understand about how we can analyze the CSV file from Flexsim using Python. Okay, so that is going to be our main target. So in the simulation environment in Flexsim, what we have created is we have created a flow of machines from which the part flows, and there is some logic created in order to have multiple part bifurcations or clubbing of parts and so. And the cycle times also have been applied different for different processors, and you can see here state analysis dashboard is available here. So what we are going to do is we are going to export this state file as a CSV file, so we get all the data of this state dashboard there as a CSV, and that we are going to analyze by using Python. Okay, and we are going to understand and learn Python with this real life example, because I haven't seen any of the tutorials explaining Python with real life examples, so that can help us learn Python faster and remember it greatly. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a problem statement. We are supposed to understand or analyze the state analysis using Python. For that, we have Visual Studio Code already installed. You can check multiple videos already available on YouTube how to install Visual Studio for Visual Code for Python. Okay, so now let us understand, in order to get multiple state data, how we are going to get that. Okay, so what I'm meaning is, for example, in the last tutorial we just saw how to read the CSV file, then understand their full data, which is this full CSV data, what rows you're gonna get. Then we tried looking at first 5 rows, then the columns, and then we identified that this script is going to help us get the data info of our CSV file, which we just got imported. Right now, what we're gonna do is, okay, we are going to find out a script which is supposed to help us know what should be the sum of each stage. So if you look at this is how the CSV file looks like, right? But for processing, processor 1 processing is 696. Say for example, I just want to sum all the processings out in here. Okay, so if I want to sum all the processings, then this is going to come 9767, and that is what I want from the script. Okay, so if that is what I want to get out of the script, then what should be the Python script we should use in order to read the CSV file and get us the sum of the C files? Okay, is what I wanted to look at, right? So now let us type that script there, so we are going to get that out. So here comes the another script. Okay, I'll just copy paste that, so that doesn't take much time of us to type that there. So here comes our printing total state types. I'll just run this first so you can visualize how that looks. Is this it is? I was mentioning, right? Processing comes 9767. Similarly, all the states will be summed up, and we will be getting a sum of all these states irrespective of what processor we are going to run. So for that, if you want to get that, you need to specify a variable which we have specified as state type. State time equal to df, which we already mentioned that as a CSV file which has been read out. We are going to group that by state time, and we are going to sum that up. So what does that mean? When you look at the Excel, this is the state and this is the time. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to group by state and a time, and we're going to sum those. So this is the syntax you need to use there. We're going to print, again, this is if you want to print a name, and this is in order to get a space. Whenever you want a space, you want to enter. So it will type total time per state and then enter, and all other things will be printed later below this. Okay, so print is going to be a state time, and state time we already had a function returned here. So all this calculation will be printed out here. So if you want to get a sum of the columns, or you want to get the sum, for example, if I had another columns, okay, other than state, so you just need to rename that And then if you want to sum it up by utilization, you just need to change this time to utilization, the column header, this, and you will be getting the sum of the utilization based on the state. Okay, so this is that simple. You just need to change the wordings here and you will be getting the sum by grouping those. Okay, so this is the syntax you need to use in Python when you are now reading a CSV file, when you want to have a sum of some elements by grouping those. So that has been done. Now what we're going to do is we are going to identify the total idle and blocked time. Okay, now we have a sum of all the states together, right? But we say, for example, I just want to get something very specific to, like I want to find out the total idle time and the total block time. So for that, here comes the another syntax. I'll just copy paste there and I'll just save the model file, right? And then I'll just execute that so you would be able to better visualize what the returns would be. So the return will look like this. If you see, the idle time is 4958 and block time is 6873. And if I just show you the idle time, I'll just write idle, and you can see all things that are idle will be coming here. So when I sum this up, it's 4958, and if you see the Python details, it's 4958. So this is how this works. Okay, so now if you want to get for other state like processing, suspend, repair, you just need to rename here as repair, rename here as processing, and this is how the syntax works. Now let us talk about syntax. These are the variables that have been defined, idle time and the block time, which we print here. Then we have this df state, which is equal, if your states are equal to your idle, you need to sum the time. You can also get the sum of the utilization again by renaming this to utilization. Okay. So this syntax is how you need to write when you want to return the sum specific to individual states from your CSV file. Okay. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I'll request you to subscribe to Leansimcorp because you are going to get a lot of wonderful educational content starting from industrial AI, Flexsim simulation, integrating Python with Flexsim, using Python for automation and stuff. So stay tuned till end of the video and do not forget to share it to your friends, like the video and subscribe to Leansimcorp. Now, the last thing which we are going to look at this tutorial is we are going to get the processor wise utilization. Okay, so I'm just printing this code here, and the utilization for the processor 2 is 0.22, that is 22.77%. Okay, so similarly you can get the percentage for your required processors. Okay, so if you are supposed to get a utilization for each of your processor, this is a script you need to write in the Python. So you get processor wise scripts. Okay, so processor name is processor 2. You can change the name to processor 3, and if I just run that, probably you should be able to get processor 3 utilization, and that is 0.152, that is 15.96%. Utilization is again a variable. We put it like when the object is equal to processor name. What is the object? Object is this column, right? When that is equal to processor 1, whereas processor 1 is this, here you mentioned processor 3, so processor name has to be processor 3. Its utilization, again this is at the 0 position, you will be returning the utilization of processor 3, and the utilization value will be calculated at this point. Okay, so it will always take the first row of your processor 1. So if it's processor 2, it will take its first row. So if I just clear and show you what I mean is, processing is always going, so the utilizations are always constant in Flexsim CSV files. First row is sufficing us, so always we'll be picking up processor 2 and the first row. Okay, then processor 3 and the first row is what I mean. So here you see that is what it is, right? Now what I wanted to show is probably, okay, that if you are supposed to get what now. So this was where you directly specify the name of your processor and you will get the utilization of that particular processor. Now, what if you are supposed to get, okay, you are supposed to get the what I can say, different, like you need to have interactive way of processor rather than you're just entering that. So this is a code you have to enter if you want to make that more interactive. Okay, so let me see what happened. I'll just remove this and I'll just paste this. Okay, sorry, I'll just enter it here. Okay, here it comes, and let us see if anything is going to be okay. Great. What I was saying is interactive is you need to specify the name of your processor here. Say if I say like processor 1 here, I should get the utilization of processor 1 here. This is what it is. So if you want to make this dynamic, rather than entering the name or making a script static, you can make the script dynamic, where you are supposed to ask to enter the processor you want to get the utilization for. You enter that and you get the utilization here. For that, the script in Python looks like this. Processor name is equal to input. Okay, now this is a variable we are specifying, whereas input is equal to enter the name of the processor. Example, so if you say this, what is a text? No, that text is inside this inverted comma. Okay, then if you see, because that is being asked here. So now what you're going to do is we are using another variable that is filtered df, where df is equal to object equal to processor name. Processor name is that processor name you're going to enter here. Okay, so processor 1, if you enter, then it is going to filter your objects with processor 1, and if you got that, right, if you got some value, like you have the processor 1, then the utilization is, so the utilization of the processor 1 is going to fetch a value from the utilization filtering processor 1. So this is how the syntax you have to put in that. Okay, and this is again a print function which returns what this is visible here. But if you don't have that processor, you're supposed to get a value of like print processor not found. Like for example, if I just enter here processor, if I just put here like processor 10, we will say that the processor is not found because we have only processor 6 into the systems. Okay, say for example, what if I use case sensitivity, like I put small processor? Well, will that work? Right, will that work? Say I put processor 1, again it will not work. Let me know in the comment section why it would not work. Okay, if we have this small p rather than big P, and if you want to use like irrespective of small, capital, whatever that is, then what syntax you should be using, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so this is the next syntax or script which you can use in order to have a dynamic script to get the utilization for processor you want to. Now say for example, you want to get the sum of utilization for all of your processors. Okay, and this is how it will look like. If I just run this, here is what the results look like. So utilization of all processors, processor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is how the utilization comes. And if you see, the utilization for last two processors is 94%, right, utilized. So this is a syntax you need to use when you want to get all processors utilization using Python. Okay, now in the next tutorial coming on our Leansimcorp, we are going to understand about how we can auto detect bottleneck into our system. Okay, in the Flexsim dashboard, using this Flexsim dashboard in CSV, we are going to analyze what is a bottleneck station using Python. So stay tuned till end of this video. Stay tuned on Leansimcorp to watch such tutorials related to Python. So see you then in the next tutorial where we'll be analyzing bottleneck analysis using Python. So till then, keep watching Leansimcorp. Bye bye.